Hello and welcome to another edition of Toys from the Attic, where it's still Ghostbusters month. I hear Ecto-1 coming, so let's see who he's going to bring us today. Thanks again, Ecto-1. Alright, for this week's episode, we're going to be taking a look at Fright Feature, Winston Zeddemore. Alright, so here we have the real Ghostbusters Fright Feature Winston Zeddemore. Now Winston is the one that sticks the closest to that classic jumpsuit look, and even though he doesn't have his traditional light blue one, he does sport this sort of purplish gray one. I say that because in real life it has a little bit of a purple hint to it, but on camera it seems to come off a little bit more gray. Though the newly added things were his shoulder pads up here, and I also like the fact that they were able to include the gloves on these guys. I always felt that they looked a little bit tougher with them, and it's something, sadly, to say that the first line of Ghostbusters action figures were always lacking. I also like how they had the little Ghostbusters logo on right here. It's always nice to see that they're able to get that little level of detail with the paint job. He has some of his traditional accessories right here on his belt, and you can see that he's sporting 2 knee pads this time, and his boots seem a little bit more thicker and tougher. I guess they're tromping through a lot more hazardous areas this time around. Now these guys never really came with a traditional proton pack that would snap on their back. Instead they came with little handheld weapons that, to me, I never really cared for and weren't all that impressive. If memory serves me correctly, Winston came with a giant mallet, which I'm not really sure how that's supposed to help in catching ghosts. And it never really had all that much detail on it, save for a few little knobs and switches here and there. It can't really hold a candle to the proton pack, but sadly, to also say I don't have any of their accessories with them. These guys I used to take to kindergarten with me and then over to my friend's house all the time, so in transportation, a lot of things got lost. The little ghost accessory that he came with was this little tiny shark head that could actually fit on top of the mallet. And I guess it was okay. It could also fit on his head too if you really wanted it like it's actually attacking him. Now as far as his articulation goes, his head is able to move side to side, his arms are able to move up and down as well as his legs. And he does have an action gimmick, and it doesn't hinder his overall playability. However, with the Fright Feature line, Winston is the one that suffers the most from this particular series. You can see the sculpt on his head. He has a mouth right here, but the split actually goes all the way down to the back of his neck. And it just looks a little bit creepy on him. It almost looks like he was in some sort of accident or someone came along and cut his mouth all the way back. So that's the only real downside. The way the feature would work is you'd actually just squeeze his hand in like this, and his head would pop up like he's seen something and he's yelling at it like, "Ah!" Now the toy is very old, so when I move his hand back, his head doesn't always just flop all the way back down, so I kind of got to push it back down in there. And you can see that it doesn't really go down all the way. And because you can see the pink right in there, it actually even makes it look like it's been cut a little bit more. Anyways, other than that, he's not that bad of a figure, and that little nitpick can be easily overlooked. Anyways, this has been a look at the real Ghostbusters Fright Feature Winston Zeddemore. Once again, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed what you've seen today, please help me out by sharing, liking, or even subscribing. Comments and advice are also appreciated. Who knows, something you suggest may appear on the show in the future.